Well, I had to look Loki up because I really am into the lore now, reading everything that we've gone through with the story and stuff, and I really don't know hardly anything about the god of Loki. So I looked it up, and this is what I found. Loki is a god in Norse mythology. Loki is in some sources the son of, I'm going to butcher these names, so I apologize in advance, for Bauti and Laufey. I'm so bad at names. And the brother of Hellblindy. By the Jotun somebody, Loki is the father of Hel, the wolf of Fenrir, and the world serpent. Now this is interesting because if you remember on one of our little talks, side talks with Mimir, he mentioned that the world serpent got knocked back into time from the future, and Kratos basically blew it off, saying that's crazy and it's insane. But there's something to this, I think. Because if Loki is the father, maybe that's why he was so inclined to help us throughout the game. Possibility, I may be looking a little too much into it, but I'm starting to think there's more to it than that. By his wife's sign? Loki is the father of Narfi and or Nari. By the stallion, Loki is the mother giving birth in the form of a mare, which would kind of indicate that he could also be a female. To the eight-legged horse, Selfner. In addition, Loki is referred to as the father of Vali, though his source also refers to Odin as the father of Vali twice, and Vali is found mentioned as a son of Loki only once. Loki's relation with the gods varies by source. Loki sometimes assists the gods and sometimes behaves in a malicious manner towards them. Loki is a shapeshifter, and in separate incidents, he appears in the form of a salmon, a mare, a fly. I'm sorry, but what god wants to be a fly? And possibly an elderly woman. So is Loki supposed to be a male, female, or can he be either? Loki's positive relations with the gods ends with his role in engineering the death of the god Balder. Aha. And Loki is eventually bound by Vali with the entrails of one of his sons. Now here they're referring to Loki as a he. So I'm a little bit confused as to what's going on here. In both the Poetic Edda and the something Edda, the goddess Skoi is responsible for placing a serpent above him while he is bound. Now, if you remember, at the end of the story, we saw what we thought was Kratos in the lap of Loki and something coming out of his mouth. And I looked back at that, and it looks like a snake. So I don't know if that's going to be the birth of the world serpent or if it's mentioning that kind of thing right here where, where he's bound. It's definitely giving some tidbits towards this. The serpent drips venom from above him that Sign collects into a bowl. However, she must empty the bowl when it's full, and the venom that drips in the meantime causes Loki to writhe in pain, thereby causing earthquakes. With the onset of Ragnarok, Loki is foretold to slip free from his bonds and to fight against the gods among the forces of the Jotnar, at which time he will encounter the god Heimdallr, and the two will slay each other. Loki is referred to in the Poetic Edda, compiled in the 13th century from earlier traditional sources, written in the 13th century by somebody Norwegian rune poems, in the poetry of skalds, and in the Scandinavian folklore. Loki may be depicted on the Snaptune Stone and Kirkby Stephen Stone. What the heck? And the Gothforth Cross. Loki's origins and role in Norse mythology, which some scholars have described as that of a trickster god, have been much debated by scholars. Loki has been depicted in, or is referenced in, a variety of media and modern popular culture. Now, there's a lot of reference to a lot of this stuff throughout the game. I remember when he first found out he was a god, he asked Kratos if he could turn into a wolf. Hey, and he turns into lots of things. Apparently a salmon and a mare and a fly. and sometimes an old woman, which I'm interested to see where this next game is going to go. I know there's going to be a sequel, and I'm hoping it's Loki's story because I would love to get to know more about this lore. And I think it's awesome that they are depicting some of this early enough so we have some pieces. But I can't wait. Can't wait for the next game because this is too good. Alrighty, guys, I just thought you might wanted to see a little bit of what I found, and because I'm really interested in this. I don't know if you guys are, so I thought I'd throw that up there. And we'll continue on with the game now.